I really love this view, and as I'm coming into Tennessee, every time I come in through Blowing Rock and I get to see this, it just reminds me of how lucky I am to be able to be in this part of the country. I really do feel I'm living the dream. When I left here in the fall last year, there wasn't a whole lot I could do beyond grading down with the box blade and the tractor. Once the excavator arrived, I was really knocking out some work, having been able to fix the culvert and put in the new entrance. Digging around this boulder, I realized that the old logging roads that had been put in stripped away the topsoil, and what was below it was actually pretty decent material for leveling out the entrance, as well as working on the road and creating a base that would be stable. Some of you might be wondering what makes me qualified to determine what makes a good road base and what doesn't. Let me just say that I got a certification from the Interlocking Concrete Paver Institute, ICPI, and I'll put a link in the description to their website, and you can judge for yourself the quality of the education and training that they provide. But the gist of it is, you don't want any organic material in there. You don't want dirt. You want a good rock base, a good mix of aggregates, in small and large, so that they'll interlock and form something that can't be compressed or resists compression, especially when you're using something like a plate compactor or a roller, vibrating roller. So the idea is that you'll get a certain amount of compression for each lift, which is the thickness of material you're adding for every subsequent layer you're putting on it, to build up that layer, which creates the resistance to compression. I hope that makes sense. As I was widening these pathways that had been created 30 years ago by the logging company, I quickly discovered that I was running out of material to level off and build the road base. So what I eventually had to do was find another location where I could dig out this material without ripping out trees unnecessarily. As it turned out, that was just down the road. Now up here, flat space is really at a premium. So having a hillside right next to the road that bisected my property was kind of convenient, because I was able to start digging into the side of this hill and pulling out the material I needed, which was basically gravel. It was the layer below the dirt, but above the hard lithic layer. And so as I was approaching this part of the project, I was trying to maintain the drainage, because water has a very serious erosion effect as it's going downhill. So that's what you're seeing, these black pipes. I had installed some, pulled them out, installed them again, pulled them out, because I couldn't find a place that was really good for keeping them in place and then being able to dig. But eventually I did develop a nice flat spot that would eventually, someday I hope, turn into the entrance to a different part of the property. At any rate, the more I dug, the more I found really good material. As I was getting down there, I was taking a bucket at a time from the excavator, pouring it into the tractor, and then taking the tractor up to my entrance and pouring it onto the ground. Then I would spread it out with the bucket or the box blade. I would take the rocks and throw them off to the side, and then bring in the plate compactor and compact it down so that I could have a nice firm base. With the addition of the larger rocks, this entrance was really starting to take shape. It looked nice. I was really proud of the way it was coming out. Some of these rocks are too big to put into the road base, but they look good on the sides. And this helped me transition from the change of elevation and keep people from driving into the drainage ditch and the culvert. One other little side benefit was, now I had a parking spot for my truck. And as it turned out, it looked so good up there, I thought I could actually make a commercial someday, or if I ever wanted to list my truck for sale, I'd have a really cool picture. Now I wish I had video of me bringing in bucket after bucket of road base from down the hill, but that would probably be redundant. So I'm just showing this one picture here to give you an idea of what it was like to transition from what it looked like when I had just box bladed to laying down the initial road base for compaction. Getting to the top of the hill, I was noticing that I still had to take out trees. and that the distance that I was traveling with that tractor going up and down the hill was getting longer and longer. That was going to be a problem. So, it's been a couple days. Today's the 17th, it's Sunday, it's Easter Sunday. And I've gotten a lot of work done. I'm standing on the excavator right now, but I wanted to show you what's happened. So I worked on this side of the hill in the cabin site, grading it out. And as we look around, I think the permanent sawmill site is going to be right here, where all these logs are, which means a lot of these trees got to come out, which means we have a ton of building material for the cabin. And incredible views, as always. So, I'm going to get down to work. Now, what you just saw was some of the logs on the ground, and in this picture you're seeing a bit of that mess cleaned up and my attempt to dig into the hill and find some more road base. And I was also looking for a way up the mountain, because my ultimate goal is to get to the home site that I found. So, as I'm looking for more road base and I'm trying to clean up the mess that was left, I'm also at one of those points where I'm not exactly sure what to tackle next. There's a few things that are on the plate, looking at the distance I got to travel with the tractor to bring material up for road base, the fact that I've got all these logs on the ground, or small logs that could be 2x4s or 4x4s. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that. And so one of the things I did is I went home and I bought a sawmill. And we're going to see that here in a second. This is my HM130 Max from Woodland Mills. It is an incredible machine. It has proved itself worth every penny I paid for it over and over again. And there's a video on YouTube now where I'm just showing you the pictures of the process, where I took it from being on the ground to having a full sawmill shed all the way around it. If you're interested in watching that video, I'll put a link in the description. I hope you check it out. It really was a fun project, and I learned a lot in the process of not only putting the machine together, but building the structure that it stands on. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I go on further in my next video, I'll be talking about some of the things and problems that I've run into on this land, not necessarily with the land, but with the equipment. One thing I've learned is that what works in Florida on flat ground does not work in the mountains. The mountains will challenge equipment like nothing else will. So I hope you come back and you'll look at some of the other videos. It's getting interesting here on the land. It certainly has taught me a few lessons, and I'm a better person for it. So I hope to see you on the next video, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.